Awesome
Good.
questions.
All right.
Lovely, thank you, Paul, for that insight into what's coming soon with Controller.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay. So, next up, or last actually, we've come to the last speaker of the day. Oh. Oh. So we have Sujit Bhatt, who is Global Leader for SaaS at IBM. So a little bit of context, first of all. I think not everyone, but almost everyone here has their software deployed on IBM SaaS, or is going to soon. But IBM, as you know, is not traditionally a SaaS provider. Formed in 1911, I think. Traditionally, it's known for building super powerful business computers and the software that runs on them. And so that the move towards SaaS has been very much market driven. And it's something that kind of needs, it's a philosophical change, and one that demands a change in mindset, really. And so Sujit, in his role, has been driving that change within IBM. And this year we've been working a lot with Sujit just to understand the kind of the customer experience. We've been learning actually from each other, hopefully Aramar influencing to some extent and what IBM are doing on SaaS. And I think that we're going to see the whole IBM SaaS offering just getting better and better year on year. So over to you, Sujit.
Quick mic check. Is it on? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, perfect. On time. Good afternoon. Pleased to be here. And as Rob said, I look after SaaS for IBM globally, and delighted when Aramar asked me to present to their clients on what an important topic. So bad news, I don't have any slides, unfortunately. So if you're all looking forward to see some slides, yeah, sorry, I thought let's talk to people, something unusual. So instead, you're going to have me talking to all of you. Just very quickly, how many here, just a show of hands, have transitioned to SaaS? Just quickly. 1, 2. Who hasn't transitioned to SaaS? Who plans to transition to SaaS in the next 6 months? A few. Okay, great. That's a good show of hands. So a couple of things, as Rob alluded to, when Aramar asked me to come in and present, I was very happy. Aramar are one of the partners I'm working really closely with globally, and they are genuinely, as we look at programs and putting things in place for this year, not this year, for next year, they're absolutely influencing because they're really leading the charge for SaaS in terms of what they're doing, what they're finding, feeding that back to myself and the teams in terms of how do we improve our products, the programs, and everything else. So I think Rob and the team are absolutely at the forefront of it. And I'm not just saying it because Aramar here, but you get some partners who genuinely put their client at the center of everything they do. And I think the way, to me, the job of landing a deal, that's not when your job starts. Your job starts after you've landed the deal. When you've signed the contract, great. But it's what happens after is when you really build credibility to make sure that clients are truly getting business value from what they've invested in. That's where Aramar come to their own completely, which is really putting in place, when I spoke to the teams, what are you doing to drive value and build, as I call it, a long-term partnership, which is what it is. But anyway, enough of that for Aramar, but I just thought I'd put that in there. So I think if you look at the SaaS market out there for IBM and also our clients, we're seeing a really big shift for SaaS, a huge shift. So if you look at the traditional on-prem world, where you have your, all the things on-prem in your store, there's a big shift to SaaS, 4 times accelerator from on-prem to SaaS. So we're seeing a really big shift in terms of clients wanting to consume SaaS, really more and more. Why? Reduced complexity, ease of use, being able to start straight away. If you imagined a simple SaaS solution where you can log on, literally, and you're using the product straight away. Okay, you're literally logging on, that's all you need to do, and it's available. The next challenge is making sure you know how to use it and the value you're getting from it, which I'll come on to. So a lot of clients want to reduce complexity, time to value, get up and running very, very quickly. Usability, I think they're finding as a really big thing. But as I travel the globe and as I see clients, and also I have a lot of meetings at the board level, the CEOs are telling us, I want to get going quickly. Yeah, I don't want the complexity of setting up the infrastructure and someone telling me I buy something will take me months and months or even a year before I can start getting value from it. I want to start now. But I need your help and the team's help to, once we've got something, how do I now drive value from it? How do I now transform and drive all the, the outcomes they expect? So we're seeing a really big demand from clients shifting towards SaaS. From on-prem, and I'll be honest, there's a lot of hesitancy. Oh, we lose control. How will the service change, or what's going to happen? But if you remember, in the SaaS world, another big thing that clients have come back to us with is, in a year, typically, you have constant updates of the product. So if you imagine if you have an on-prem world and you're updating something, you probably have to close your systems down, go through an upgrade, whatever it is, it takes a while. In SaaS, it just happens. So when you log on to any particular application, it'll show you probably at the front screen, oh, these are the following updates. Or iOS, as an example, if anyone's got Apple, you'll have all these wonderful updates that just happen. Half of it, I'm never aware of what the updates are or the value I get. So one of the things, as I said, which I'll also talk about, is how clients are really transitioning into how do you get more value from SaaS. So number one, the market shift, tremendous move towards SaaS. Number two, the reason why clients are wanting to adopt SaaS, consumability, you've got the security, you've got the ease of use and everything else that goes with it. And what IBM are doing is really being serious around what are we doing to drive our products to be more SaaS friendly, should I say. And we've taken a big step in towards doing that, and we're going to continue doing that. So IBM is fully committed towards developing SaaS products as SaaS first. What do I mean by that? Usability in terms of the UI, having usage metrics. So when clients are using the products, we get to understand how are you using it. What parts of the product are you using more? What parts aren't you using? So that data then would go to our partners, or Aramar in this instance, for example, to say, look, you're not using these type of features which would be of real value to you. So putting more instrumentation and metrics within our products to allow, for us to understand how you're using the products, what features can be improved more, and helping also other clients understand where the value is. So there's a lot of work and development going on now and also going forward around how do we make our SaaS products even more consumable? How do we improve our UI? How do we add more instrumentation, as I said, so we know exactly how you're using the product, and also how we can help you if you're not using certain functions. And we've adopted what we've called a layer model, which is you land, so when you particularly sign a contract, what are we then doing with clients to drive the adoption? Making sure you're driving value from your particular software. I'll give you a very simple example. When I talk about the constant updates within a year, I'll use iOS as a simple example. Apple will on the fly put there's a new update, and I'll probably download it. I'll probably use 10-15% of the new updates that they've told me that's available. Unless someone takes me through what those updates were and how it can make my life easier and how it can add more value, then okay, great. Or even an example like Excel. I still struggle with Excel. It's now online, by the way, as a SaaS offering from Microsoft. But there's some features which I would be doing manually, and I have one of our graduates coming in and going, well, actually, do you realize there's a capability that can do this thing much quicker? And I'm like, whoa, I wasn't even aware of that. So a lot of the times, when you have these updates on the fly, it's making sure, are you aware of the updates? Are you aware of the value that can add to your day-to-day job? Are you aware of the time it can save you? And that's where Aramar come into it. Making sure once you've consumed planning analytics, as an example, and planning analytics will have a load of updates through the year, are you aware of what those updates are? Are you using those particular capabilities? Is that helping you, as I call it, a day in the life? So when you're using these products in terms of your day in the life, with whatever job function you're doing, is it saving you time? Is it driving business value? Are you getting the outcomes you really need? So that's a constant feedback I hear from clients around where in SaaS, yes, we get the updates, but having someone who can explain to us as, so what? What does this update mean? How is it going to help me save time, add value, all that kind of stuff? So I think that's a really important part of SaaS. And the fact that you get constant innovation during the year. It's not like you've got the product, that's it. There's constant new updates and everything coming throughout the year in order for you to get that value. But as I said, the most important thing is understanding what those updates are and where you can get value from it. So I think from my side, just a quick question for all of you who are thinking of moving to SaaS. In your eyes or in your mind, where do you think you'll get most benefit from if you transition to SaaS? Anyone wanting to be brave and put their hand up? Oh, there you go. Thank you. I wish I had something to give you as a prize, but I don't. I've only got remote, but yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. Doing a swap, by the way, this is perfect. You can come up here and talk. That's actually one of the really important benefits of SaaS, where in the on-prem world, you've just got what you're buying. In SaaS, you've got everything bundled in. You know, the software, the management of it, and so all of it's bundled in together, you're right. And as you said, to maintain it, if you think about the time it takes if to introduce a new patch or something, it takes a while, there's disruption. Also the cost of the people doing that. And if you add it together, it proves to be quite expensive. So you're absolutely right. The initial thing where we've always, similar to IBM, we've always done things on-prem. So the transition to SaaS was also interesting for us in terms of the mindset shift. Product teams, our development team, thinking about creating products ground up, SaaS first. It's completely different. How do you make it more consumable? How do you make it more easier for all of you to use? So when you log on, you can be guided around what you can do. So you're absolutely right. I think that is still underestimated. And when I do go back and visit our clients to find out how has it been after you've transitioned to SaaS, they completely underestimated the point you made. And the feedback from the business was really positive. By the way, I'm not here to sell you SaaS. Absolutely no. I'm just giving you, but this is the feedback we hear from clients, that once they've made the leap towards SaaS, it's made their lives a lot easier from a complexity perspective, cost, as you said, and more importantly, the feedback from the board, what I get is we're getting things done a lot quicker. We're getting a lot more value a lot quicker than we used to. So that's kind of a real shift compared to the on-prem world for SaaS. So I think, anyone else, by the way? Thank you for that. That was a really good plug. Anyone else? Yeah. Good answer. Get rid of Citrix, yeah. Yeah. Anything else? One more to make it 3. Yeah. And do you work in the IT function, or you're more on the business side? Business, perfect. And that's another feedback as well, which is, as you rightly said, significant pressure on IT in terms of delivering and everything else. But there's also one common theme I get, and interesting to see what you get. There's a lot of lost in translation. When the business are putting the requirements around what they need, and then what we get at the end of it in terms of delivery, sometimes there's a mismatch. In SaaS, it's a really clear line of sight around what the business is after. Here's what you have, and then how do you drive value, which is the likes of Aramar in this instance for planning analytics will really help you understand what are the areas that you need to drive. And I would frame it in a day in the life, which is what you do every day. How can you make your job easier, simpler, faster, and how do you give more value to the business, so to speak, on that side? Yes. Yeah. Correct. And that, again, there's another really good point. Legacy, because a lot of the on-prem world were looked after, call it the legacy, people are looking after it for 10, 15, 20 years. And when you move on, that knowledge is taken away. You might be documented somewhere, but it's still not good enough. You lose that knowledge, absolutely. In the SaaS world, it's on the cloud. All that knowledge that you've consumed, it's not written down, it's available on the cloud. And again, with a partner, for example, or Aramar, you're able to capture that knowledge in terms of what are the use cases. Another big thing in SaaS is use cases as well. Being really clear on what your use case is for SaaS. And I call it again in the day in the life. What are you using it for? What's the value you want to get from it? And making sure at least Aramar or the team are clear on that. I like that. There's 4 really strong points actually we've had. So, okay. And one more, last one to make it 5. I promise I won't ask any more. I just want to get to 5 if I can. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. Exactly that. I mean, and it's a big. When people move to SaaS, it's a big thing where IT are like, oh my word, you don't need our services. You do. They'll move on to other value add services that can really help accelerate your drive to SaaS. So I think these 4 or 5 points. Hopefully, Rob, you've captured all these 4 or 5 points. You're probably aware of the 5 anyway. But these are genuinely some of the reasons I see when I travel the world and I talk to our clients. They wish they moved sooner. Is the feedback I get. Now, other people are quite nervous because they don't want to lose control of on-prem, and I don't lose control of the environment I'm in, and if something goes wrong, I call IT, and it's just everything's in-house. But what you forget is all the other benefits that you get in the SaaS world. Everything else has been looked after, and it is a really big shift. So look, I don't take up too much time. I said I'll keep to 15. I'm nearly at 15. But the point here is we're seeing a real big demand for our clients moving to SaaS. I've covered some of the reasons why they're shifting to SaaS. The 4 or 5 points we all made, I think they're really strong points in terms of why clients are shifting to SaaS. And really making sure you have someone who's there with you in the journey to help you get value. I can't emphasize that point enough. It's all well having constant innovation, constant updates and everything else, but if you don't know what to do with it, then there's no use. So you've really got to make sure you understand what are the new features and functions. How is it going to help your life, make it a lot easier? Because if you don't do that, then these updates are just updates. So with that, I will, as I said, no slides today. I'll leave you with that. But I wanted to basically just reaffirm IBM's commitment towards our SaaS portfolio. We'll continue to put more instrumentation and make it a lot more easier for our clients to use. So that's our full commitment. And planning analytics, by the way, is a really big part of our strategy going forward. In Visi, so in my previous role, I used to lead sustainability globally for IBM. So products like Invisi were also a really key part of our, or at least the portfolio which I had previously, and that was another big area that we were really investing in. So, these are value-add products. Invisi, looking at your sustainability, where you are on ESG, big thing which the board are looking at right now. Really big emphasis on that right now. So more and more times I'm visiting the clients, they ask about ESG. What is IBM doing around that? So that's something to keep in mind. All right, any questions before I close off? Super. Well, thank you ever so much, and I really appreciate the interaction and some really good feedback as well. Thank you. All right, thank you.